Good evening. Welcome to this week's edition of Costa Cross Examination. I'm your host. My name is Andrew Mwansa, sitting in for Costa Mwansa. Police in Chingola have arrested 2 suspects in connection with the violent unrest that erupted at Chiwempala Market during President Hakainde Hichilema's visit on Friday. Zambia Police spokesperson Ray Amonga identified the suspects as 24-year-old Abraham Chilumbu of Chiwempala Township and 21-year-old Abraham Sichone of Chingola South. Mr. Amonga said the 2 were part of a mob that turned violent, burning a police vehicle and destroying property while the president was addressing the residents. It is believed that the group of angry small-scale miners from Senseli Mine began throwing stones at a stage, claiming their grievances had not been addressed. Others have interpreted the incident as a sign of growing public discontent and the rejection of the UPND-led government.
Costa Cross Examination is now in session.
It's channel 271 on DSTV and channel 20 on Go TV, but also this program is running live on our Facebook page. That's at Diamond TV Online. You can give your contributions and questions on the stream that is running, but also you can be a part of the program by calling us on the number that will be made available on the screen for you. Mr. Thabo Kawana is Permanent Secretary from the Ministry of Information and Media. He joins me on Costa Cross Examination. And Costa Cross Examination is now in session. PS Thabo Kawana, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Good evening to you, Andrew, and good evening to your viewers, and thank you very much for the invitation.
Such scenes happened on Friday, where President Hakainde Hichilema was being stoned by the people of Chingola. And for the people that could not have seen exactly what transpired in Chingola, let's quickly look at this video for us to be in perspective of what happened in Chingola before PS Thabo Kawana gives a story of what could have happened because he was there with the Republican president. Very sad scenes there to see the Republican president being humiliated in such a manner. PS Thabo Kawana, what's happening?
Thank you very much. I think what is important also is to give a perspective as to how we found ourselves, firstly as a nation, in such a very unfortunate situation. You will recall, your reporters were there, footage is there. If you want, you can go even on the live feed that was on the president's page, and I think maybe your page, if I'm not mistaken. You will see that there was a thunderous welcome of the president in Chingola, such that so many people thronged him, and the motorcade had to stop, and the president walked with the people. And the people were gathered in their multitudes for the president to be able to address them. There were so many people such that many other young people also went and sat on the rooftops of the shops behind where the president was, and just to catch a glimpse of the president. And some of those shops, the roof gave in out of the weight and pressure, gave in. And when the roof gave in, it exposed the shop. And the young people now wanted to start to loot. It is at that point that the police moved in to stop them and also to get everybody down from the roof. That agitated the situation, and they started pelting stones and throwing stones the direction where the police were, the direction where the president was, and so on. And that is how that whole situation now degenerated. That missiles now started flying all over, and some were even going where the president was seated. It is at that point that security decided to evacuate the president to safety, because the environment was no longer safe to hold the president there. So that is what truly transpired.
What about the voices of the people that, yes, we're able to show the video in the background where thousands of people came to, hear what the president was about to tell them. But what about the angry youths that were shouting, "Tupelelelo Senseli, Tupelelelo Senseli"? It is believed that these are the ones that, started this this unrest that happened. Have you looked at that perspective as government?
Yes, of course, there are young people that are, or the Jerabos, if you like, that are calling to be given the Senseli mine, or wanting to engage themselves in illegal mining, as it were. And you know that the stance of this government, the stance of this president, is that we must do mining in one, a legal way, but two, safe way. Mining must not lead to loss of life. And you know that so many young people have died there because of unsafe ways of doing mining. And so things have to be done properly there. But the patience is not there, and that is why there is that demand. And each time they want to demand to be given that mine and to conduct their illegal mining, they get so agitated, so angry that they engage themselves in lawlessness. I think you know now that this is the third incident. Yeah. The first incident, again, when they found that there was security at the mine, they took to the shops to go and loot and riot. The next time they went there, they found there was a fence that was erected by the mine. Again, they took to the shops.
Where's government taking time to address their concerns with?
No, the concerns are being addressed, but they have to be done in a proper way. They must be safe mining. It's safety first. You recall that there were many young people that lost their lives there. The president again had to go down there, and we had lost lives there. So we cannot continue on this path where illegal mining is tolerated and then lives are being lost, and then after lives are lost, we all come down and say, no, we must stop this, we must stop this. It quietens down, again it takes root. So it must be done in a way that is sustainable, that is safe, and ensure that no lives are lost in the process.
You obviously knew as government that such a thing would happen, because Chiwempala Market is a hotspot for some of these unrests. So the first time, like you are saying, that this has happened. Chingola and Chiwempala Market is known for such incidents. The intelligence surely should have informed the president that there's a possibility that there could be unruly individuals that could come and disrupt this meeting. Didn't the intelligence of this country foresee that this could happen? Because literally, we were risking the life of our Republican president.
Well, I think you will see that even from your own footage, that the environment was very conducive. The people were receptive. They were expecting their president, and they looked forward to hear from their president after the unfortunate incident of the market, which got burnt, and people lost their livelihoods there. They were so delighted to hear that their father has come in the area, and he's come to mourn with them over their loss, and he's come to tell them what it is he will do to help them. And the people were very receptive. So that unfortunate incident was exacerbated by the lawlessness of those thugs that took advantage of that situation to engage themselves in that lawless behavior. And like we stated, that lawless behavior will not be tolerated. But you can't fault the security here. There was no security lapse whatsoever. And that is why, even in no time, the security was able to determine that the president needed to be evacuated so that he's away from that environment. So there's nothing like the intelligence did not do their job, the police did not do their job. Everybody was doing their job there, and that is why the president was even evacuated to safety. So the blame game over the police, intelligence, and so on really cannot hold water. What's important to state clearly is that you have these thugs, these criminals, that took advantage of that situation and degenerated the situation to a point where they performed the highest level of lawlessness in as far as thuggery is concerned. But there are laws in this country, and no one will be allowed to conduct themselves in such a manner, regardless of who that person is, regardless of your religious affiliation, your political affiliation, no matter what you or who you are in society, the law will catch up with you.
It didn't look like it was two people that were throwing those stones at the president.
Well, it is not like it's two people only.
Because
they arrested 2 people, and today they have arrested 3 more people, so we are talking 5. I'm even surprised that your news is not updated. But it's 5 people now.
But still 5 people is not good enough.
Yeah, but Andrew, nobody's saying only 5 people did that. It's progressive. Investigations are ongoing. So many other people that are connected will be arrested. The police have not said we have arrested 2 people and these are the ones responsible only. No. They arrested 2 people yesterday. They have arrested 3 more people today, bringing the number to 5. We don't know if they'll arrest people tomorrow or the other day. Investigations are ongoing.
You've seen the conversations that are going on. Others are interpreting this as a sign of political dissatisfaction with the government of the day.
It is far from that. If it was political dissatisfaction, then the president would not even have gone there in the first place. I think the people would have rejected. But the people demanded to walk with the president. It was so overwhelming that the people demanded, we want to walk with the president. And the president had to disembark from the motorcade and walked with the people. That was an extremely peaceful environment. And if you see that everybody that was there in terms of the people that spoke and so on, the audience was there, the crowds was there, there was no environment that showed what one would interpret as rejection. But as usual, just like the thugs took advantage of the situation to degenerate the situation that was going on there into lawlessness, of course there will be other people who would want now to misrepresent and misread the situation and want to say that is political rejection. It cannot be political rejection. In that area, Chiwempala Market got burnt, and the people lost their properties, they lost their merchandise. And the president went there. What was burnt in thousands in terms of value, hundreds of thousands of kwacha. And the president went there to help them rebuild their lives and offered to help them with the 10 million kwacha. That's what the real issue is. That's where the news is. But because we like pettiness, we like issues which are non-issues.
Are you sure it's an issue when the life of the president was a threat, P.S. Kawana?
Look,
when the life of the president was a threat, you're trying to call it?
No, now we are not.
Non-news?
No. Now we are not addressing the life of the president. Now we are addressing the issue of you saying that it is political rejection. So that's the pettiness I'm talking about. That is a non-issue, and it doesn't even arise. There was no rejection. You can see from the reception that the president received upon arrival, the thunderous welcome that he received, the way the people thronged him, the way the people walked with him, they embraced him. That is not political rejection. That's petty when people want to speak and insinuate that.
There's usually a very consistent pattern when such a thing happens to the president. Government would blame it on the opposition. Is government looking at the opposition as one to blame of what happened?
Well, look, I'll tell you that even those young thugs should really thank their God that they have such a president. The president is a commander-in-chief. And when you conduct yourself in such a way and you throw stones or whatever it is that you throw, all that is categorized as missiles and aimed at endangering the life of the head of state. At that moment, a command can easily be given that maximum force be used to ensure that the president's life is protected. Today would have been counting bodies. But no. President says, restrain yourselves. Don't do anything to these people. Again, the very people that were stoning him, he protected them. This is a man who, in opposition, was ill-treated, was tear-gassed all the time, stoned all the time, shot at with live ammunition, chased through roofs, If that roof there in Sun FM gave in, today there would be no Hakainde Hichilem. But after winning the election, one would have thought it was time to sort these people out. And people were ready to sort them out, to give them a taste of their own medicine. The president was the first one to protect them. Says, don't do that. Don't revenge. I don't want you to fight anybody. I don't want you to do to them what they did to us. I don't want you to get this thuggery where it was green and you replace the same thuggery with just a color red. He stopped that. What happened yesterday? Again, the young people, those thugs, engaged themselves in serious lawlessness. The president was the first person to protect them. I think you saw when he was speaking, he had to turn, he was looking behind and telling the officers, don't do that to them, restrain. Okay, restrain yourselves. Again, he is protecting them. They should thank God that they have such a commander-in-chief. Because if it was somebody else, today we would have hundreds and hundreds of people killed by the police.
It appears
for such kind of behavior.
foresaw this day happen because he gave an interview while in opposition when President Edgar Lungu was being booed. In fact, he gave us a very historical background that there was a time when President Kaunda at Hero Stadium was being booed and oranges and bananas were being thrown at him, but he didn't do nothing because, and in fact, the interpretation of President Hakainde Hichilema was that when citizens begin to do that, it means that they've rejected you.
Yes.
Could this interpretation play in the scenario which happened?
The president was very clear then that when citizens begin to do that, it means they have rejected you. But these are thugs. When thugs begin to do that, it just means they're engaging in lawlessness. Therefore, the law will deal with them. These can't be categorized as citizens per se. These are thugs. They're criminals. So when criminals begin to do that, that's their nature. They are criminals. And the law has a way of dealing with the criminals.
Speaking about the law having a way of dealing with the criminals, I want us to look at this, another video in Chingola, where some youths were seemingly threatening party officials of the UPND, including members, of parliament. If we have the video ready, director, you can play it for us.
Mchingora muri bakadi. Muri bakoni. Tumvuane mwa mpishana mwa. Butuka. Kate kusora lidia. Ngata. Mama. Wachimono ngani baye mupi amachama nyama kansera nga. Ebale foi kana sana ma example. Mwai monate. Ulani president. Be very careful. Umwana sumwa this election is umwana chene. Chingora pato. Tabesha. Wana Chingola. Ekumvuana kula kwini mwachiravuwa. Tamwarevuwa vyo kumvuana vyo mutende vyo. Mutende vyetu, aikarishanya panyi. Senzeri mwapoka. Market mwaochi. Nati mvuana, ivila vine vyo. Ivila vine vyo nati mvuana. Ivila vine. Buloko tata. So bonza ama MP, bachama na makanzera. Umwene. Akuru tubungwe. Mchingora awe. Uka kwenyoko. Olona yoyo mwapsiyo na umona haba no. Na umona. Umona beta munji bari mochere vya kumochero. Dobe abantu keza kona kuchingora. Dobe. Wikeza kuna watu mpevo meatipono uka uyue. Abana chingo beki. Wawa mona te. Ya karibu wangu. Abantu barenya menshi. Imamurenya yako. Imamurenya yako. Abadzona mchingora. Mchingora muri bakadi. Muri bakoni. Tumvuane mwa mpishana mwa. Butuka. Kate kusora lidia. Ngata. Mama. Wachimono ngani baye mupi amachama nyama kansera nga. Ebale foi kana sana ma example. Mwai monate. Ulani president. Be very careful. Umwana sumwa this election is umwana chene. Chingora pato. Tabesha. Wana Chingola. Ekumvuana kula kwini mwachiravuwa. Kumvuana kula kwini. Tamwarevuwa vyo kumvuana vyo mutende vyo. Mutende vyetu, aikarishanya panyi. Senzeri mwapoka. Market mwaochi.
P.S. Kawana, that is one of the many videos that are now trending on social media of different people filming themselves and giving positions of what happened in Chingola. That particular one is of 3 youths that appear to be at a form of a mining site. And now they seem to be threatening the lives of chairman of the UPND, but also members of parliament. And they're saying if we can go for the president, then it must be easier for us to go for any of the government officials. Is the COP about becoming an unpopular ground for government officials?
Because 3 thugs have said that it is becoming an unpopular ground for the government. I'll tell you, there's nothing like that. I've told you, over thousands of people were there, thronged everywhere the president went. Whether it's Kitwe, whether it's Ndola, whether it's Chingola, people thronged the president. And 3 people, three criminals, 3 thugs, put up a video on social media, and then we conclude that the government is in danger because 3 people there have said what they have said. Those are thugs, those are criminals. And the law is very clear on threatening violence. So if you are calling it upon yourselves, that will be dealt with accordingly. The law is just there for all of us and nobody is above it. And also, I will say this now to you as your permanent secretary for media, that it is very shameful for a credible station like Diamond TV to show such kind of footage. These are not things that you want to broadcast on a widely watched television station, respectable, credible like Diamond TV. Can't put such things.
These are threatening.
They are threatening government officials. But you see, when we begin to broadcast such things, we are now spreading the behavior. Okay, we are now spreading the behavior and making other young people begin to believe that maybe such a thing is normal. They don't deserve airplay. They deserve to be before the law so that the law decides what to do with them. But it is not good to show such kind of. Just today, I saw earlier on television, on another news channel, how the people in Chingola were on the ground and rolling and thanking the president and begging for forgiveness from the president for the unruly conduct and behavior of those criminals and thugs, and asking the president that, please forgive us, this we are not part of what they are doing, and we are also very upset with what they are doing. We are grateful for the 10 million that you have given to us so that we reboot our lives, we start our lives. They were thanking him. I was expecting that maybe I would be able to see such here where you're showing that no mercy has returned to Chingola. But then we come here and then, you saw 3 criminals, speaking unprintables on television. I think we can do better. Diamond TV is not a small television. This is an award-winning television station. Very serious station. Desist from showing such things.
Well, as we need to show you what exactly is happening so that you could make an informed decision as government. There's also another trending video where President Hakainde Hichilema has been spoken to by his people. In the video, it appeared as if though they're trying to tell him to leave much more earlier than expected. This was when he was at Levi Mwanawasa Stadium. I'm sure you've seen that video where President Hichilema left much more earlier than he was expected to see. The interpretation that came thereafter also was that probably the president was trying to be security conscious, and that there were unruly cadres or unruly individuals that could have potentially tried to do what they did at Chiwempala Market. Is that the right interpretation?
It is a wrong interpretation. Totally wrong, and nothing like that. I think you will recall that the president, the very day also had another engagement to be able to grace the fundraising gala dinner for the UPND Copperbelt chapter. So he had so many things lined up. So when you have so many things lined up, the presidency is managed by people who also keep, among other things, time. So they keep time for the president. So you will find that from time to time, when it is time to move to another occasion and to go and prepare or to go and do other things, they will move the president. Even me at my small level as a PS, I am timed. I will come to a function, you call me to a function, and maybe say 15 hours and I have another function at 17 hours, my staff will still come and tell me, Sana, we have to leave. And I will excuse myself. And you as MC from time to time, at different occasions, you have come to the microphone and said, we have to excuse the PS now. He's got other things to do. That's just what transpired there. Nothing like that.
Nothing of that sort.
No.
Well, the phone lines are open. You can call in and be a part of the program by calling on the number that is going to be showing on the screen. Before this incident in Chiwempala, or on the Copperbelt, to put it this way, PS, some Zambians were shocked to see President Hakainde Hichilema attend the inauguration of the president of Tanzania, the president-elect of Tanzania. You had a press briefing to explain that this incident, and you clearly explained that President Hakainde Hichilema has been attending all inaugurations that he's been invited to. But this particular one, PS, has had the president receive a lot of criticism because of what characterized the elections in Tanzania. Was it wise for a president to have gone to Tanzania?
The president has also received a lot of commendation.
From who?
For having taken the trip to Tanzania to go and attend the inauguration, but most importantly for the message he carried when he went there, to go and call for peace, to go and call for dialogue, and that's what leaders do. You're not just a leader in your country, you're a leader on the continent, you're a leader in the world, and the president is very clear. Conflict anywhere is conflict everywhere. So if there are problems in Tanzania, he is duty-bound to go to Tanzania and say, look, let's put this behind us, come to the round table, and let's discuss to ensure that there's peace in this country. And also urge the president that now that the elections were behind them, all those that voted for her and those that did not vote for her, she must be able to put everybody together and move the country forward. Tanzania is a strategic neighbor to us. If that country degenerates, we are the ones that will catch the cold here. For example, Andrew, I'll tell you that you came here driving. Now, if there's problems in Tanzania and they are not curbed, before you know it, the fuel that you put in your car, which comes through Tanzania, you will not be able to put fuel because there will be serious shortages here as a result of problems there. Even the car that you are driving, if you want to replace it to buy another .com vehicle from Japan and so on, you know that it will come through Tanzania, Dar es Salaam. Again, you will not have an opportunity to be able to drive if your car breaks down completely. So the things that Tanzania and Zambia relate on are more than just bilateral relationships. It's a strategic partner. And this president has a role to ensure that there's peace and stability everywhere in the world. That is why at some point he also had to undertake a trip together with other African leaders to Ukraine. All the way from here to Ukraine in search of peace. So his move to go to Tanzania, attend the inauguration, and give a resounding message has received a lot of positive commendation from various stakeholders, and various countries have commended Zambia for spreading the peace which we are known for as a country, as a beacon of peace, for us spreading that peace across the continent. So that move was a very positive move.
Critics argue, P.S. Kawana, that the presence of the president there was not merely diplomatic, but a symbolic of endorsement of a flawed electoral process.
Yeah, that's why they're critics. Like I said, in our country, we like to dramatize non-issues.
No, but also we must be very factual.
Yes. So how can that be?
President Samia won that election by 98%.
We are a sovereign country, and they are a sovereign country.
The president of Tanzania won that election by 98%, but he had the inauguration in a military base. All right.
What has that got to do with us?
It has got everything to do with us because our president went there.
How they hold their inauguration, those are their logistics. How they hold their elections, those are they're a sovereign country. We have nothing to do with elections. That is why when
it's an endorsement of the flawed electoral process.
I'll tell you now, so that we educate each other. If President Hakainde Hichilema went to Tanzania while the president there was a candidate and campaigning and went and stood on the platform with her. That's endorsement. That's an inauguration. How can an inauguration be now turned into an endorsement?
We had bodies, you know.
Bodies where?
That criticized the election. It was not free and fair.
He went there in search of peace. He took peace there, and the world recognized that, and the world really, really, really commended the president for the bold message that he took there. He did just not go there to go and do Rumbani Madota. He went there recognizing that there was this problem there and went and urged them how to live together to ensure that there's peace there. The role that he played there was that of a statesman, was that of an African leader. And the world, the countries in the world, the countries in Africa are very proud of our president. It is only here that because we love pettiness, we always look for pettiness. I saw the Citizens First president, Harry Kalaba, he's even a former foreign affairs minister, and he went to town, talk about how this is, the president is wrong, is what. Then I saw his own member, Mr. Lamek Mangani, who is also a former cabinet minister, come and say, no, that is correct. What he did was correct. It shows you the diversity. So really, there's no water that holds there. What the president did was correct, and if he had to do it again, he will.
If Zambia had chosen not to attend the inauguration, would that decision have harmed our bilateral relations with Tanzania?
We don't make such choices. We belong to the global community. We don't make such those are reckless choices. That is why every inauguration that Zambia has been invited to, we have attended. Every inauguration that has been extended to our country has been extended to our president. The president has attended. Some of them in person, some of them represented, but he has attended.
The inauguration in Zimbabwe, why didn't he attend?
He attended.
Sent the Foreign Affairs Minister to attend?
Represented.
This one, he couldn't have chosen to have
he attended.
Have someone represent him, because
in person.
If there's an inauguration where President Hichilema should have allowed someone else to represent him, I think it was this one.
Says who? Says who?
Personally, I think it was this one.
Who determines that? So, in Tanzania again, he was invited for the inauguration, he attended in person. In Zimbabwe, he was invited for the inauguration, he attended, represented. And other countries, Malawi, he attended.
At the time that that election was happening, we were chairing the Troika in Zimbabwe. And obviously that election was highly questioned.
We can't discuss that the president did not attend. He attended. He was there. Represented.
Are you advising the president very well, P.S. Kawana, and the other people that advise the president?
I am not a presidential advisor, but I will tell you. Look, I'll just keep emphasizing that for us, what we have noticed is this, and I am finding it very hard to find a better word to use than just say pettiness or non-issues. We love to exacerbate non-issues, to blow up non-issues. Pettiness, okay? I see that even on my own social media handles. If I post something positive, something developmental, for example, on my Facebook page, I will maybe show you what is happening in the energy sector, the solar plants coming up, different parts of the country, and how much energy we are going to bring on board, and how this problem we have now will be a problem of the past, because we are where we are after 50 years of no investment, and now we're beginning to invest. We will get to a point where this will be a thing of the past. That's development. If you post that, you get no comment. If you are lucky, you get one comment.
Do you know why?
If you just post...
Do you know why you don't get comments?
I'm coming. If you just post something silly, dancing, singing, or just diving, yeah. So there's that, always that inclination towards pettiness. Today, earlier on, I was in Ndola this morning. We joined the president in Ndola. And this is the shirt I wore. On this shirt, and all the former presidents are here. I saw on social media people going to town. Serious comments there. No, there's no Edgar Lungu on the shirt. You are sitting next to me. Is Edgar Lungu here or not here? If I can just do this without disturbing your microphone. Who is this one? Now is that not Edgar Lungu? But someone will say, no, he hates Edgar Lungu. There's no Edgar Lungu there. The pettiness. You see that? The pettiness. We must rise above this. We must spend time looking at what it is that can benefit the country. And that's where we are missing, this president. This president is a focused president. He is not interested in short-term arrangements or ad hoc arrangements. He wants solid things. He wants things that put the country on the right path and trajectory.
Just hold your thought there. We have a first caller, Mr. Daka. Mr. Daka, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us on Costa Cross Examination.
I can't hear.
Mr. Daka, the director, I'll ask you to put the volume in studio.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, Mr. Daka, now.
Yes, good evening.
Evening to you.
Yes, good evening. How are you, presenter?
Go ahead with your contribution or question.
Yes, I just want to make a comment on what Mr. Kawana said. Yes, my contribution is what Mr. Kawana said regarding to Diamond TV, that it was not in order for you to bring that video where those two young men were commenting about what happened in Chingola.
Please go ahead with your contribution or question.
Yes, so I think as Diamond TV, we want to appreciate what you're doing. Because, yes, that's exactly what happened. So I see no reason why Mr. Kawana should blame Diamond TV for bringing out what exactly happened in Chingola.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Donald Daka, for coming through. An advice to the people that are calling: when you call in, ensure that you reduce the volume on your TV set so that we could hear you properly. Because if you have your volume raised up, then we are receiving feedback and communication, would be broken. And so you can call in and give us those questions or contributions.
Yeah. So I was saying this: we are missing it on this president because this particular president wants things done solidly. Look at the Copper Belt, for example. When we took office, the province was literally dead. Mopani was gone. KCM was gone. Shaft 28 was dead and buried. And because of the work that has been done there, many other mines have been reopened, Mingomba and so on. You have got Shaft 28 reopening there. You have Mopani reopening, KCM reopening. The people of the Copper Belt are able to see that they are moving from a situation where it was dead and now it is back to life. But as it has come back to life, it needs to learn to crawl, walk, and eventually run. You can't just wake up and start running. So this president is moving us away from that mentality of tantameni to a mentality of tantamikeni. The difference there, which is that tantameni is view people to just stretch in a line and I'm giving you my 20 kwacha and so on. But tantamikeni is for you to be able to show that yes, Rwanda is back online to tantamika. Mopani is back online, Twatantamika. KCM is back online, Twatantamika. Mimoba is online, Twatantamika. That is the trajectory that is taking the country. It is not easy to appreciate such a person because you want easy things. And that is why we have ended up going to a place where now we want to clap for people that were actually stealing our resources for their own benefit. People that stole so much money that even when they bought motor vehicles, it was not enough. They decided to start buying helicopters for themselves because they stole so much money. Those are the people we want to clap with. This country will not go back to those days. It will not happen. We are moving forward as a people, and we are making sure that accountability is brought to governance, accountability is brought to government, and the people must benefit. Even when the children of Israel were being moved, at some point it wasn't take us back to slavery. At least there we were eating. It's the same thing here. There are people that are saying, no, take us back to those days. Yes, we were being bangered. Yes, we were being gassed. Yes, we were being beaten, gotten money from. But you know that this was you can't operate like that. What this country is going through are the remnants of mismanagement of well over 10 years of consistent mismanagement.
Don't you think you must get concerned when people begin to say that we are better off, being at a place we're at?
You would get concerned if a lot of people are saying that. But of course, it's a small clique. Those that were beneficiaries of that theft, the same cadres who would walk into offices and demand for contracts, get down payments, and do nothing. Today, they can't do that. They're angry. So yes, they will call for those leaders to come back so that they continue doing that.
How much do you think Zambians love this government, P.S. Kawana? Because I'll tell you this for a fact that this government is load shedding people sometimes for 48 hours.
So do you think that this government wakes up and says, load shed the people? These are ramifications of over 50 years of not investing.
This must be unacceptable
by
any standard.
It is unacceptable. Even the president has said he's not happy with this. But the only difference between him and others that were there before him, he is not happy about this. He's doing something about this.
It's been 2 years.
It's been 2 years.
It's been 2 years, P.S. Kawana.
You expect the problem to go away in 2 years. I can tell you now that even the projects that are coming up...
And that's why I asked you whether you seem to be very comfortable as a government because you probably think that people have the love for you and that they return a government that is load shedding them for 2 days, really?
We are comfortable knowing the vision that this president has for the country, and we can see clearly where he's taking us. And it's a good place.
Only you in
government. We are
government.
even jealous for those that will be presidents after Hakainde Hichilema. They will find a good country. I am so jealous of the president who will be sworn in September of 2031. That president, he or she, would take over a good country.
Why 2031 of an election the next 10 months?
I am so jealous about the person who will be sworn in 2031. The one whom Hakainde Hichilema will hand over the instruments of power to. I'm jealous of that person. He's handing over a good country because he's taking care of these problems now. And we couldn't have asked for a better leader than the one we have now. He was built for this moment.
And as a government, you're comfortable going to bed thinking people are happy and that they're going to re-elect this president back in office?
It is not in our province to think that people are happy. It is in our province to do what is right and know that it will sustain the livelihoods of our people and their children and their children's children. That is why we go to bed knowing that the over 2 million children that were not in school are now going to school. We go to bed knowing that the young people that had no skill because they dropped out of school, and via CDF now they are able to become bricklayers, electricians, carpenters, and so on, because they have gotten a skill at a trade school that CDF has paid for. We are happy with that. So our role is to facilitate and create that environment. Who do you think is going to be wiring these houses? Who's going to be building these structures? Who's going to be doing these works? At some point, our country ran out of skills. We are beginning to rebuild skills now. I don't know if you built recently or you are building now. You will know that you were always told, you want a good ceiling board, you get people from Zimbabwe. You want a good structure, you get people from Tanzania. You want a good roof, you get people from Tanzania. We are putting those days behind us. We are training Zambians. They will build your house from foundation to roof. Correct quality with the right skill set.
What did President Hakainde Hichilema mean when he said we failed in the energy sector?
Well, of course, the people of Zambia expected that by now it would have. But the drought that had exacerbated the situation was so severe that it has thrown us all in a place where none of us expected. But the attitude of this president is to say, where there is calamity, where there is a challenge, where there is a problem, flip the coin. Behind that, there's an opportunity. That's his mindset. And that's the mindset that he's running the country with. And that's what is beginning to go into the mindsets of the Zambian people. That instead of just whining and moaning, you look for an opportunity there. And here we are today. From a country that imported fertilizer to a country that is exporting fertilizer. Very soon, very, very soon, we will be a country that everybody in the region is looking to for power.
There's an ambitious target that President Hakainde Hichilema made that by December of 2025, at least the country must be producing another 1,000 megawatts to address the electricity deficit. We are slowly getting closer to December, P.S. Thabo Kawana.
And we are slowly getting closer to the target.
And I'll be honest with you, P.S. Kawana, that people are getting 2 hours of power at least. 2 hours of power, P.S. Kawana.
Well, like I said, the reality on the ground is that we had
we 19 days to
we had the power which we were generating as hydropower. We don't have the water now. At some point, instead of this government behaving like other governments had told the people, when the people said, where's the power? They said, you go and urinate in the Caribbean. There's no water. So you want the power, go and urinate in the Caribbean. This government is saying, yes, there's no power, but let's work together. And you're able to see what is on the ground. Very soon I'll be going around the country in December. I will show you all the solar projects dotted around the country in almost all the provinces, at what stage they are, and when their estimated time of completion is, and what power they're going to bring on board.
Does government have an idea when at least people will be getting sufficient power in their houses? Do you have an idea, P.S. Kawana?
Well, previously I would say on such a time, at such a time, and people would, but I will tell you now, and I want to look into the camera. From what we have seen and what is being done, it is clear that we'll have a semblance of stable power, proper power, of course with difficulties here and there, but come July 2025, we'll have very good power to write home about.
Is it a coincidence that July is just a month before the elections? And
this government doesn't operate based on elections. I'm looking at, and I'll demonstrate these things as we get to, in December. I'll dedicate December to going around to demonstrate these things. So that again, we kill that notion of people wanting to say, no, it is just for elections. So when we show you, this is what is being built here, and this is what it will bring, and its completion is here, and this is here, and this is here, put together, this is what it will produce. And you know that by July, we'll be talking something else.
We have Mr. Mlenga from within Lusaka. Mr. Mlenga, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us on Costa Cross Examination.
Hello.
Kindly speak up, we can't hear you.
Please put me through the program.
Go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, you're through to the program. Go ahead.
Mr. Kawana, I want to tell you that you are the people that are making President Hakainde Hichilema unpopular. You are saying on this program that in the previous administration, there was a lot of pangas and killing people and beating people. But if my recollection is very right, you were in PF media team and you were defending everything that was happening in the previous government. And today you want to speak like you are the defender of President Hakainde Hichilema. You are the people that have been jumping from one political party to the other, one government to the other. You were in MMG. You were defending Lupia Band and you were defending Mwanawasa. You defended Lungu, Edgar Lungu. The same way you're speaking today is the same way you spoke about Edgar Lungu. Today you are condemning Edgar Lungu. What happened in Chingola is a clear sign that the people are not happy. And the best you can do is to tell President to do the right thing for the people. We, the people of Zambia, are not happy with this government. And the earlier you realize that, the better. We don't entertain what happened in Chingola. It's criminal and it's not good. But when people become so suppressed and not listened to,
All right,
they
thank you so
end
much,
up
Mr.
doing
Jackson
such
Mlenga.
things. So, Mr. Kawana.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Jackson Mlenga, for your contribution. Yes, Kawana, would you like to respond to his concerns?
Oh, I just respect his views and his opinion.
Are you misguiding the president?
I told you that I'm not a presidential advisor. I have a role to play in government. Oh, and this is my first time to work in government. I will not work for any other government. So when Mr. Mlenga, what's his name again?
Mr. Jackson Mlenga.
So when Mr. Jackson Mlenga says that I worked in different governments, he doesn't have his facts correct. This is my first job in my first government. And what happened in Chingola is not a reflection of what you think, Mr. Mlenga. So good night, sir. Sleep well.
So for voices like that one of Mr. Mlenga, who are stating that this probably is a reflection of what, in fact, he says us Zambians. He makes reference to himself as us
He
Zambians.
must speak for himself. He's who's spokesperson. That's why I have a problem with a lot of people that when you have something to say and then you say, no, the Zambians, which Zambians? I say I am not happy. Not we, the Zambians. I know a lot of people that were beneficiaries in previous regimes, many previous regimes. You know, these were big boys, got so many contracts that they did nothing for. They were supplying air and got paid for those things. These people are angry. They want those days to come back. Because now, in this, I can also tell them with confidence that the business community are saying, now we are able to do business. Now this is an environment that we can thrive in. Because it is a clean environment, it is a fair environment. Then there was an environment of thuggery. For you to do any iota of business, you had to be connected to cadres. And that is why a lot of business people were getting contracts and not doing anything about them. Because by the time they get the contract, quickly they are paid, some of them 100% upfront. Then they have to share the money with these ones and these ones. By the end of the day, he just gets his small share and abandons the work. Corruption. Surely, Zambians, even if you don't want us to talk, people get your money as a people. Pretend to buy a property on behalf of the people of Zambia. Wire that money from your treasury into another jurisdiction, and a person, a minister, picks up a presidential plane, goes to that country, withdraws your money in cash, puts it on the presidential plane, brings it back to their country, takes it home, and the following 20, 30 days is depositing the cash in their personal accounts every day, and even buy helicopters, and you turn around and say, no, they were okay. We must be able to call it for what it is. Mashori ki mashori. Thieves are thieves. This government does not have thieves. This government will not embezzle public funds as others embezzled public funds. And the evidence is there for all to see. Cases are before court. People are given an opportunity to defend themselves. And the courts are convicting them and punishing them accordingly. And somebody says, no, these are political prisoners. What politics are there in stealing money?
Before I turn the show into a political program, at least for this episode, your concluding remarks, P.S. Kawana, there's a sense in which other people feel that the pace at which this government is moving is very slow. And they're looking at the next election. And they're saying, we expected so much to be done in the first 5 years of this government, but so little has been done. We are hungry, we're being load-shedded. For some that genuinely feel that government is not moving at a pace that they expected it to move, what are you telling them, P.S. Kawana?
Well, I am telling them that this government continues to do the little things that matter to the people of Zambia. Little things like getting millions of children back into school free of charge. Little things like giving young people an opportunity to be able to write their exams and their government pays for them. Little things like getting CDF into the rural community where our citizens were treated as second-class citizens. And today, they no longer give birth in shacks. They give birth in proper maternity wings with running water, with lights, and with staff. That today there are children that were learning under trees have little things called classroom blocks. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow citizens, your government is working with you. We can't do everything at the same time, but we are doing a lot, we are doing so much, and we continue to do so much. What we can ask for is your support and collaboration so that together we can build as a nation. Thank you.
P.S. Thabo Kawana, thank you so much for coming through Costa.
Thank you.
Costa Cross Examination now adjourns. Good night.